back to another Rollies Wheels. Today we're going to be looking a little bit closer at the Jaguar XF, in particular the 2013 model with the 2.2 diesel engine. The car is a very nice looking vehicle. The XF always has been a nice looking car, and even in the estate model, which is now called the Sport Break, a lot of people say it's a very good looking estate car, which I totally agree with. This particular car with the 2.2 diesel engine has the 190 brake, well, it's nearly 200 brake horsepower, so it's just over 190 brake horsepower, and you can get the 2.2 also in, I think it's just over 160 brake horse as well. Jaguar then, in the later versions after 2015, they did a 2-litre diesel. They did a facelift on the front and back. The car is slightly shorter than this one, but they gave you a fantastic selection of engines. In the diesel range, you've got the 2-litre diesel ranging from 160 brake horse up to just over 300, I think 230, 240 brake horse for the 6-cylinder versions. But we're going to home in on this particular car, which is, as I say, the 2.2 200 brake horsepower model. I have to say, I've been running Jaguars now for quite a few years, and I've got to say it's a very quiet car. It's a really good cruiser, and the diesel engine, the 2.2 diesel engine, is a very good economic engine. You can easily get something around about anything from 45 to 47 to the gallon. If you're out about town, it's going to be less than that. But if you're cruising on a motorway, you know, you can easily achieve those figures. And it's got quite a large fuel tank, so the range is around about 500 to 500 miles on a fuel tank. Probably a bit more than 500 miles actually, if you're gentle on the right foot. The layout of the dashboard is, I really like. It's a quality dashboard. The ergonomics are designed very, very well. I love the stitching in the dashboard. This is leather, this is not plastic. A lot of cars in this range, other makes of cars, there's a lot of plastic involved, synthetic leather, but it's not leather, it's plastic. But Jaguar have gone to town on this because you've got that lovely sort of metal finish. These vents here, we're going to show you after, when you turn the engine off, they rotate and close up. It's a really lovely feature. And of course you've got the wood trim here as well, which is, again, just finishes the fascia off. The screen for the infotainment system, sat nav and so on, is a good size. It's easy to operate and understand. We're going to go through that again in a while. And all the buttons that you want here are very easy, just nice push. They're not notchy. They're very delicate when you're adjusting volume. They're delicate, even on the fans and so on. Everything's sort of to touch, designed very well. And these are small things, it may seem, but they're actually quite big things if you're going to be driving a car and have comfort and relaxation. And also the steering is very positive. This vehicle has 20-inch alloys. It was actually made with the 17-inch standard Jaguar alloys, which look okay, but my feeling is they looked a bit small for the type of vehicle it is. You can get, Jaguar supplied them with 18-inch, 19-inch and 20-inch alloys, and I think that the 5107s, I think these alloys are, which we'll show you after. It's got a nice silver spoke pattern with a black inlay on it, which I think sets it off very well. Now this is the luxury model, and there's the premium luxury, which has got a few more extras than this has got. The luxury model does not have the auto dim rear view mirror and side wing mirrors, and it doesn't have the heated seats actually in this one, but the premium luxury does. All the little small gizmos. It doesn't have the front heated screen, which the premium luxury does. But you know, for a base model luxury model, it's got a lot of extras, which really, you know, they're all to hand and it's not overdone. And it comes with it with a vehicle. You don't have to keep on adding all these extras like you do with the German manufacturers. If you go out and you spec a car up, you buy the car, but then you've got to add this, add that, add the other. And you think that the cars would come with those extras, what you call them extras, you'd come with those accessories, but they don't. But this is where Jaguar have designed this vehicle and put it together so well, because you're not having to sort of add to the cost of it every time, thinking, well, has it got this, has it got that, has it got the other? No, you climb into a luxury model and you get a whole host of wonderful extras, which are usable extras and help for the elegant drive that the vehicle provides. So I was saying before, for a diesel engine, it's very quiet. It's got a lot of torque, and it's very good when you come to overtake speeds between 50 and 70. They're the sort of overtaking speeds, or the range of overtaking speeds that you'll be looking at, and it's got a lot of torque to do that. The car sits well on the road. It's not too firm. Even with the 20-inch alloys, it's not too harsh a ride. It's firm, but not too firm. And you can load the massive boot up with luggage, and you can load passengers in the back, and you still don't feel any load on the car. You don't feel the back of the car going down or anything like that. So the suspension setup is really, really good. So what we'll do next is we'll take a little look around the outside of the car, and we'll point out a few of the things that I've just spoken about, and also appreciate the design and shape of this saloon. And we'll pop the bonnet and we'll just show you briefly inside the bonnet. The big thing that I really think is a plus point with this car is the size of its boot. It's really, really good if you want to load it up with luggage. I'm going on a long trip, you want to do the tour of Britain, or you want to go abroad or whatever. It's just got all the space you require. So we'll take a closer look at all these things, and I hope that it's going to probably ring a few bells with those people who've got an XF, and maybe those people who haven't got an XF might be quite tempted. So let's see, let's take a closer look. So looking at the front of the car, it's very sleek. This is a facelift version of the previous XF. You'll see in the shape of the headlights, they're more sleek looking, and the previous model just had the outer headlamp which raised the bonnet up a little bit more, but all in all it's pretty similar to the previous series XF. The only difference again being with the previous is looking at the tail lights on the back. You can see the 20-inch alloys look really good against the white vehicle too. So yeah, the previous model didn't have the red lights just underneath that chrome strip on the inside by the number plate, and Jaguar added those on just to complete the shape of the rear lights, which is probably a little bit like the rear end of the XK8. Yeah, I think it's pretty much similar. Love the vents down the side of the car with that chrome Jaguar badge on top, and those wing mirrors look very sleek as well. The bonnet is longer than you think, to be honest. It's just altogether a really lovely looking car. We're now going to take a little look inside the car and tell you a bit more about it. I'm 6'1" and I'm sat in this car with my legs in the right position, and there's still loads of room in the back of the car. It's very comfy. See, even Teddy likes to be comfy in the back of this car. But yeah, and the vision out of the back window is absolutely brilliant. You would probably think it was going to be a bit restrictive, but looking through the rear view mirror. I can just do that. You can see there is quite a bit of view anyway. But yeah, the actual vision out of the car is absolutely excellent. So let's start from the beginning, the starting up of the car. So if you look at this start button here, as soon as you get in and out of the car, normally as soon as you've locked it and unlocked it, I've got the key here, just hidden that away, shut the door. So effectively it starts flashing at you, which is great. It's just like a heartbeat flashing, waiting to go. So press that button, and when I press that button the car starts. But just take a look at these vents as well as soon as I start the car. I really love this. Isn't that something else? That's fantastic. So the dials in front of you, in front of the steering wheel, are very, very clear. The rev counter to the right, obviously the speedo to the left, and it shows you what position of gear you're in. So if that's in park at the moment. So if I just select reverse, you can see it reminds you in reverse, neutral, drive, and obviously if you do pop it into sport, yeah, it's going to light that up. So I really like that because it's self-explanatory. You've got your clock as well there, right in front of you, and then you've got the fuel gauge right at the bottom in the middle. That's very clearly laid out, and you can just flick through your miles that you've done. You can see the miles the vehicle has done on top. My range 153 pressed, and this is all controlled, by the way, from this button on the left hand stick by pushing it in each time, and you can actually scroll through those objects from average speed, my miles per hour. Even though you've got a speedo, you can actually have a digital version of your miles per hour as you're going along, and back to the miles, 81.6 miles, which is what I've done since I last set it. And you can see a little A on the left hand side, so you've got an A and a B. You can actually record two journeys. So you've got an A, say, on the way there, and then on the way back you can record a B if you like, put them on two separate sticks. And to do that, you just hold, to cancel that A, you just hold the button in on the end of the stick, hold it in until that goes to a 0, and you just let go and back to 0. So it's quite simple as that, and you can actually scroll from A to B, and it's very, very easy to follow. And of course it also has a temperature gauge, an outside temperature gauge in there as well, so you can monitor the temperature from outside. What I also like about it is you can put the car into sport mode. When you actually go into sport mode, you just scroll, obviously keep on turning the shifter lever, and then you just press it down and then across, and you're in sport mode. And when you're in sport mode, if you use these paddles on either side of the steering wheel, you've got a minus sign here for changing down and a plus for changing up and down. So basically it's just behind here, behind the steering wheel, and you can play as though it were a manual gearbox, which is really great because you can have a sporty feel. You can get ready for an overtaking maneuver, and it does, as I said before, it's got quite a bit of punch for a 2.2 diesel engine. So looking a little bit closer now, we've got lots of little storage capacity areas here. This one, and it opens very nice. This is what I like about what Jaguar have done. It's a lovely chrome button which you just push here, and it just flips up, and that's an ashtray as such. Your cigarette lighter can go in there. It's a charging point also. But this, as far as I'm concerned, I just pop the key in there. It's quite a deep little pocket actually, but nobody's ever smoked in this vehicle, but it's quite a useful place just to pop your key in there if you don't want to leave it in your pocket. This one's very good because, again, just press the button and it opens up very, very smoothly to a cup holder, and you can use that as a cup holder, or obviously for storing coins and other bits and bobs, and even your mobile phone can sit in there. Quite useful, very useful indeed. And that's a lovely smooth closing lid. And taking a little look back at the armrest, this is all leather stitched again, and so the seats are leather in this version, in this model, but lifting it up, it's a little clip which you just squeeze, you lift the lid up, and inside you've got another charging point. You've got a USB connection point there, and auxiliary as well for connecting your iPods or whatever. But it's quite a deep little cubby, and pardon the bits and pieces that are in here, but it goes down quite a way, so you've got a bit of storage space there. Really great. So let's take a little look in the engine bay. So it's a lovely great big bonnet, but just look at how well packed this diesel engine is. It's very easy to check the oil and water. I'm just going to move those little leaves that get in here. Now it's autumn time, it's got down past the scuttle point, but yeah, we've got there's no, I just must make a point here, there's no dipstick, manual dipstick on this car, although that looks like a dipstick. It's just like a breather point. You have a light which comes up on your dashboard to tell you and warns you when your oil level is low, but there's a procedure you can go through to check the oil level on the actual control in front of the steering wheel, and you can look that up on your driver's handbook. But it's very efficient, very easy to use once you know how. You obviously the air breather, and you've got all the power steering fluid you can check, you can put the oil in there. But all in all, the whole vehicle, the way it's designed, it's easy to keep clean as well. I think it's great. So we can take a little look inside the boot space. Now you've got a choice. For opening the boot, you've got an electronic button inside on the right hand side of the steering wheel to push, and then that releases the boot. Or you've got a choice of touching the button just underneath here, which releases the boot. Or you also have on the key fob, you've got a nice little button there which you can push, and when pushed it just opens up the boot. So as you can see, that is quite a large boot space. It goes back quite a way. The other thing is that I love about this car is it's got a soft close mechanism for the boot, so you don't slam the boot down, you just literally click it and it fastens itself. So take a closer look at this. If I do this again, if I open it up, you can just closely look at the way the hinge shuts on this. If I just do that, just watch, just click it once and it shuts quietly. How nice is that? That should be for a nice luxury saloon. Just those finishing touches make a big difference. I've got one more thing to show you. This car has slightly thicker glass in the windows. Jaguar have done this to be able to help reduce road noise for the inside passenger compartment rather. And also the rubber seals around the doors, because they're all well sealed. They've got good solid thick rubber seals, and if you come round this side you can see the rubber seals come all the way down and inside this area too, quite a depth. So that actually stops a lot of the noise and wind cheating between these joints between the front and rear doors. The luxury model doesn't have the keyless entry. When I say keyless entry, you can actually, on the premium model, you can actually touch that and you can actually lock the car. It's just those, they're only small things, but you know, if you want those, you go to the premium, you know, you can have that, just lock in, touch it, and it's locked. But really, all in all, I think it's a fantastic car. It's a nice size. It's comparable to the 5 Series BMW. Performance wise, it's more than adequate, and on economy it's absolutely fantastic, and I really highly rate this car and highly recommend it. So thank you all very much again for watching, and please keep your eyes open for further videos coming your way, and always remember to subscribe. Thank you very much.